rear quarter panel, and that's sometimes all it takes to push that guy and spin him out of control, and sometimes those pursuits will come to an end very rapidly. But now we're in the neighborhood, and those pit maneuvers can be very dangerous for other commuters, pedestrians, even this late in the evening on these very small, narrow surface streets, only one lane east, one lane west, and this is just off of Soto in the neighborhood. He's made a lot of twists and turns. We're not sure exactly the name of that street, but if you live in the area here around Boyle Heights, Lincoln Park, City Terrace, if this pursuit comes into your neighborhood, you're going to hear the police activity. You look outside, you might see the police activity. The safest thing for you to do, stay indoors. Just observe this from your front row seat. Watch it on television. Watch it here on ABC 7. You don't want to get in the middle of one of these very dangerous situations. Now making another right-hand turn, and this might be a situation where he's trapped into some kind of a parking lot. I'm not sure if CHP officers will try to force their hand and not let him get out of that parking lot. That would be a rather offensive situation. They're going to get offensive and defensive. They're going to trap him in here. Now they'll make him force him onto this parking spot.
Space.
Yeah, now it's up to that suspect to try to either drive onto the grassy area of this, what appears to be a small apartment complex, or if he'll do the right thing, he'll listen to the commands of CHP officers. You can see the officer on your right. He's out of his car using his door as a shield. They've got their guns out. They've got their guns drawn, and there are CHP officers all around this guy. They're issuing very clear commands. They've got a loudspeaker here. It looks like his window is rolled down. They're telling him, get your hands outside. We want to see your hands. Throw the keys out of the car door. Open the car door, listen to our commands, step out, and when he does that in just a moment, they'll issue very clear commands with regard to exactly, Mark and Michelle, what they want him to do. They want him to stand up, not face police officers, and walk backward to the sound of police officers, the sound of their voice. Anything other than that could be taken as a bit of a threat by police officers. They're going to watch his moves very carefully. They're going to watch his body language. They're going to hope that he complies at every point. And at this point, he's not getting out of the car. Sometimes these are people who speak different languages. So CHP officers, like many municipal police agencies, they have people who speak a variety of languages, English, Spanish, many of the Asian dialects as well. And looks like this guy's not exactly complying right now. You can see him lingering by that front door. And we don't want to get too tight with that shot because oftentimes these suspects, they will take a defensive position, sometimes an offensive position with police officers. That can lead to gunfire, and we don't want to show you anything too graphic. Once again, this is just off of Soto, north of Interstate 10. This is in the Boyle Heights City Terrace area.
And let me interrupt you real quick. Area. It looks like he is coming out, but there are people starting to gather around there. There are civilians that are coming out of their homes. And it looks like, Michelle, that he is starting to comply. You see him lifting his shirt up there.
Yeah, well, he picked a bad place to pull into if he wanted to keep this going because once he went into this parking lot, he was pinned in. He did a nice job of parking the car. And it was a little tense, though. It was unclear if he was going to surrender, but he is now complying with their orders. And now, after they get him into custody, they'll have to clear the vehicle, as Bill mentioned, with the blacked out windows. They're not sure if there could be other people inside that SUV, so as soon as they get him taken into custody, that's the next thing they will do, and check that vehicle and make sure it's clear of other people.
And the reason he's in this position now, you see his legs were actually crossed, his feet were crossed at the ankle. That's to make it very hard to get up and run away. They want to get him in a position where he can't take any offensive moves against the officers, and he also can't get up and take off running. Very hard to do when you're in a position like this, and they're going to prone him out and get him on the ground and handcuff him, or they may just handcuff him from that position. This is the CHP, might have a different procedure than the LAPD or the Sheriff's Department in terms of putting the handcuffs on somebody, but they are, you see them motioning toward the vehicle, that big, would look like a Chevy Suburban or a Yukon or something like that, a big GM SUV, and they've got to clear that. And they're doing that now. They've got flashlights in. They're looking in those heavily tinted windows, which is difficult. And you can tell by their body language, it appears that things are wrapped up as far as the vehicle is concerned. They're satisfied, it looks like, that nobody is in there.
Bill, any further information that you might be getting on your end about why this individual fled the police, why he was evading police?
No information from CHP officers with regard to why they were chasing this guy through the San Gabriel Valley. Now we're just hearing some information. This may have been a DUI suspect, and he was driving very slowly and fortunately very safely on Interstate 10. Pulled into a housing project on the north side of the 10 right by Soto Street. Mark, as you mentioned a while ago, a lot of folks here in the neighborhood heard or saw all that police activity, came outside to take a look, and that's always a dangerous situation. Stay indoors. But the one person who was in that SUV, the driver, a DUI suspect, out of the vehicle on the ground being frisked by police officers. He'll be in handcuffs in just a moment. And fortunately, this is one of those late evening chases out of the San Gabriel Valley that's come to a very peaceful end. One suspect in custody, and to the best of my knowledge, we didn't see any crashes along the way, and fortunately, no one got hurt.